We can all use a little kindness now. After I stabilize this table, I'm going to speak about kindness this morning, what it is, how we do it, the value of it, and especially what it means in today's turbulent time. Now, I just received the message on my screen, which has gone black, except for the words. Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video. So I'm going to trust that you can still see me, and I'm going to keep on going until someone sends me a message that it's not working, which then I would end this and try to get back in. Okay. Yesterday morning, while I was out running errands, I drove past a car repair shop which had a sign that delightfully surprised me. It read, "We're making the world a better place by fixing it one car at a time." Isn't that a marvelous advertisement for a car repair shop? I thought so. I'm here to tell you this morning that you are amazing. You can change the world. You are so powerful that you can make the world a better place by changing someone's life, one kindness at a time. I'd like to begin my message this morning with the story of a small child's act of kindness in the form of a compliment that she gives to her mother. And this is how her mother shared the story. She wrote, "After my 4-year-old and I turned the department store upside down looking for a bathing suit for me, we finally found a black and white one-piece that we both really, really liked. I tried the suit on and I modeled it for her. It was a hit. 'Mommy, you look so pretty,' she squealed. 'You look just like Shamu the whale.'" All right, so sometimes when we do a kindness for others or we speak a kindness to others, we have to use a bit of adult wisdom when we speak. So what does it mean to be kind to others in times like these? Well, to me, it means that we are choosing to be one of the reasons that others give thanks. Isn't that a powerful thought? I say that kindness is what we express toward ourselves or another person, which makes us or them feel blessed in some way. Kindness starts with being willing to care, being tenderhearted and compassionate toward others. Next, I think we have to make it a goal, a habit, to be actively looking for opportunities to show this kindness. When we see one, we need to act quickly before the opportunity is gone. Action includes some kind of self-sacrifice and therefore generosity on our part, especially of our time, of our attention. But of course, the emphasis on deeds over mere words doesn't mean that words are unnecessary. Action includes our words. Encouraging words of comfort, courtesy, compliments, and even correction can be heartwarming acts of kindness. Our goal is to be one reason that others give thanks. Our acts of kindness don't have to be big things. The smallest of acts of kindness can mean so much to another. I'd like to share from an article called 9 Reasons to Be Nice to Everyone, Even the Jerks Who Are Mean to You, by Kiki Kaufman. Number 1, she writes, kindness, though typically considered to be a weakness, is actually a strength. It's much more challenging to hold your tongue and to speak positively toward others, especially those who have wronged you or mistreated you in some way. Being kind is much more challenging, and therefore, when we do it, it's much more honorable. Number 2, everyone has their own demons and is fighting their own battles, their own fight. Be cognizant of the fact that each person you meet could be struggling in his or her own way, and being kind might remind them that they too should be kind. Number 3, she writes, the perpetuation of anger can be everlasting. Once someone has been mean to us, it's easy for us to harbor anger, hurt, frustration inside us. Fighting fire with fire, however, makes the flames higher. And sometimes these flames even become impossible to put out. Number 4, maybe the person to whom you're speaking simply needs kindness to make their day better or to change their outlook. Being kind can be a way to positively alter someone's cloudy mood. Though you may not always see the impact of your kindness, it still exists and it still matters. Number 5, it feels good to be kind. No, it's not easy all the time, but it will improve our own mood also. If we remember that instead of tearing someone down to our own level, that we can lift the two of us up with kind words and gestures, this feels wonderful. And 6, it's the right thing to do. While being kind sometimes feels as though we are allowing meanness to go unnoticed or unchecked, it does not mean that we're allowing others to walk over us. When someone else goes low, we can go high, as Michelle Obama used to say. Number 7, the way we act is a reflection on ourselves. The effect of your words or actions, she writes, can last forever on others. Sometimes it doesn't feel permanent to us, but to the other person, it could be everlasting. Number 8, being kind will make others happy and it will make us happy. You'll be glad, she said, if you offered kindness instead of meanness. And number 9, the last one, being mean doesn't solve anything, so being nice can't hurt. Even if nothing is solved, at least you know that you didn't make it worse. It's important to remember the words of Bill Wilson, who said, "To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world." The 14th Dalai Lama, spiritual leader of Tibet, Nobel Peace Prize winner, author and spiritual inspiration to many, spoke often about kindness as compassion, as love, and humanity, and that these are necessary. In his book, The Art of Happiness, he wrote, "Love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive." He wrote, only the development of compassion and understanding for others can bring us the tranquility and the happiness that we all seek." I love a story which columnist Sharon Randall placed in the Salina Journal a while back. It's called "A Quick Trip to a Place Called Grace." Sharon wanted to make a dish of Italian pesto, but she had to go to the store to get the walnuts for it. Now, many people use pine nuts, but she prefers walnuts, and she was out. So she went to the store, grocery store. She parked as close to the supermarket door as possible, and actually my car likes to do the same thing. And she ran in to grab a quick bag or a container of walnuts. While there, she spied huge bouquets of gorgeous sunflowers on sale, and she grabbed up one of these, but she went back, uncertain as to why, to get another bouquet. As she was loading her groceries into her car, she heard a voice call, "Miss, I'm sorry, can you help me? I can't lift these." And Sharon thought to herself, it's not easy for most people to ask for help. Then she recalled a family Christmas long ago when her stepfather was out of work, and some good people from her church brought the family a basket of food. After they left, Sharon's mother said, "It is so hard to accept help." But she said, "Remember how it feels, because one day you will be doing the giving." Her mother's words took deeper meaning in the summer of 2016 when Sharon broke her ankle and spent months in a wheelchair. Sharon realized that being able to help someone is a gift, especially for the giver. She wrote that the water bottles that she lifted into the elderly woman's car seemed weightless, and she felt so good. She felt like Wonder Woman coming to the rescue of this stranger. Kindness can do that. Help us feel like Wonder Woman or Wonder Man or Wonder Child coming to the rescue of someone else. Then, when Sharon was getting into her own car to leave, she spied the 2 bouquets of sunflowers, and she cried out, "Wait!" to the elderly woman, and she ran over to give the elderly woman one of these bouquets. "Oh," the woman said, "I can't take your beautiful flowers." "Yes, you can," Sharon told her. "I have 2 of them, and one of them is yours." The woman laughed, and she thanked her again for her kindness. Sharon writes that she drove home grinning like a mule eating briars. I'm a city gal from Newark, New Jersey. I don't know what this mule looks like eating briars, but maybe you do. It must be pretty darn good. Anyway, Sharon made the pesto. It was good, and she and her husband ate all of it, but she realized that she had forgotten to get the walnuts that she went to the store to get in the first place. She said the Brazil nuts that she had at home worked just fine in the pesto. Sharon wrote, "Sometimes it seems that we're always in need of something, always searching for that one ingredient in our lives, which will make everything taste all right. But one day," she wrote, "if we're lucky, we will hear with our hearts more than with our ears, a quiet plea for help, and it will remind us of something we often forget, that we are whole, our needs are met, and we have all that we need and more, which we can choose to share in kindness with others." She wrote, "There's more than one way to make peso, and there's always a way to repay to others, to life, day by day, a little of the boundless grace that we've been given in our own lives." Here's a quote from one of my favorite writers, Dean Koontz. He wrote, "Each small act of kindness reverberates across great distances and spans of time, affecting lives unknown to the one whose generous spirit was the source of the good echo. Kindness is passed on and grows each time that it is passed, until simple courtesy becomes an act of selfless courage years later and far away." I really like Kuntz's idea that every small act of kindness that we make leaves its mark, and its effect lasts long after we express it. I have found this to be true in my own life, and I bet you can remember to this day when a kindness was shown to you in the past. It may be something that you will never forget. Well, many months ago, I experienced a kindness that is just as vivid to me today as it was then. I'd gone to Walmart in Salina, and as I entered the store, I decided to stop and get a bite to eat, some lunch right there at the Subway shop, which was at the entrance of the Walmart store. I got in line to order, and I ordered one of my faves. That's the spicy Italian on herbs and cheese bread, and I got the veggies and a short squirt of mustard put on the sandwich as well. Then I went to the register and decided to make it a value meal. So I added chips and a soda. My order was rung up, and I made ready to pay, but I was told I didn't have to pay for it. My order was already paid for. I was so surprised. "What?" I questioned. "What do you mean?" I was surprised and amazed to find out that the customer before me had paid for my lunch. Someone I had never met. This person was still in the store, still in the Subway shop. So the clerk pointed her out to me, and she was still there eating her Subway meal. I took my lunch and I put it down on a table, and I went over to thank this woman, and I wanted to ask her why she did what she did. And when I met her, I saw that she was no wealthy person with money to burn. She had on a Walmart employee smock. So she was a working woman who had spent her hard-earned cash on me, a stranger. Apparently, while she was paying for her meal, she gave enough to pay for another whole meal for whomever would come to the register next. And that happened to be me. It wasn't that she looked at me and she decided that I needed a free lunch. I hadn't even entered the subway yet, and she was paying a blessing forward. So I asked her, why did she pay for my lunch? She said, I just like to do that occasionally. She said, I've been blessed in many ways in my life, and I'd like to give thanks by sharing a gift with others. Wow. Isn't that wonderful? It made me feel great. And, wow, fulfilled a need of mine. I was hungry. I enjoyed that spicy Italian sandwich. There's another true story that happened at another restaurant. This time, this occurred in Scottsburg, Indiana. There was a woman in the drive-up window lane at McDonald's. She had just paid for her meal. She happened to look through her rear-view mirror at the car behind her, and she saw a minivan with a man and 4 children. It was Father's Day, so she told the cashier, I want to pay for that guy's meal, the one in the next car. And I want you to say to him, Happy Father's Day, when you give him the meal. So the dad pulls up to the window, and the worker tells him, here's a free meal for you. Happy Father's Day. They tell the man. The woman in the cart in front of you paid for your meal. Then this dad decides that he's going to pay for a meal for the person in the car after his. Well, then that next car occupant paid for the meal of the person in the car in back of her. And this went on and on, starting at 8:30 a.m. until midnight, when the McDonald's store in Scottsburg, Indiana closed. 167 cars went through without breaking the chain of giving. It was almost broken when one gentleman chose not to pay it forward. But the McDonald's workers chipped in, and they paid for the meal of the person in that next car. They didn't want to see this giving chain broken. And it really was no big deal. The folks just got a free cheeseburger. But the act of generosity was huge. It touched everyone that day at McDonald's in Scottsburg, Indiana. You know, Jesus, our teacher and way shower, spoke about the fact that whatever we give to life, we also get back from life. He said, if we give kindness and compassion, this is what we also receive from life. In Luke 6, verse 38, Jesus says, give and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, shall men press into your lap. For with the same measure that you meet, it shall be measured to you again. A great way to be the reason that someone else gives thanks is to perform RAKS, R-A-K-S, short for Random Acts of Kindness. Here are a few tips to find RAKS to share with someone else. Give some thought about what someone is needing, or if they are working on a problem or a project that you might lend them a hand with. Give some thought about what someone's needing that might brighten their day. It could be a simple smile, a how are you? And then actually listen if they choose to share a response with you. So many people just flippantly say, hi, how are you? And before you can respond, they've turned and they've gone on their way. Well, this time, when you say, hi, how are you? Wait and listen. Encourage them to share a response with you. It could be letting someone in a hurry go ahead of you in the grocery checkout line. There are all kinds of online lists with suggested ideas for random acts of kindness. An idea that I've always liked, though I've yet to do it, was to put a flower in a neighbor's mailbox for them, Or put a flower in your own mailbox and tape a note to the stem of the flower so the mail carrier will know it's for them. On Mother's Day this year, a friend of mine, Twyla, came to my house to sing a few songs with me for our Mother's Day online Sunday service. When Twyla came over, she gifted me with a large bouquet of powerfully fragrant peach and purple irises from her own yard. They were huge and they were gorgeous. Irises are one of my favorite flowers. If you watch the live service for that day, you will see that these flowers are in the background between where Twyla and I sit. The scent of these irises was really lovely, but actually too powerful for me to keep that bouquet here in my home. I shared this with Twyla, and I shared the concern that they might kick up my allergies. And she was pleased when I thought of the idea of sharing them with others. They were so lovely, I didn't want to throw them away. Twyla didn't want them back because she had whole yards full of these irises. I got the idea to separate the bouquet into individual stems of flowers and to give them to my neighbors on Mother's Day. So that's what I did. Previously, I had collected and cleaned and delabeled 7 glass bottles from some coffee mocha drinks that I had become enamored of. So I used these glass bottles as vases. I did have to cut the stems of the irises, but they look great in these bottles. I loaded these in a box and went out the door to give them to my neighbors. This one gift of a bouquet of irises from her yard, from Twyla, had given me and 7 other people in my neighborhood reasons to give thanks. You know, we can all use a little more kindness these days. And I might say, in this way, we can change the world for the better, one flower at a time. God bless you as you choose to be the reason that others give thanks.